Part of what helps Reagan gets the South is obviously because of Carter's hate. He's very hated in the South because of what he's done to the economy and everything. And it's really hurting farmers because when inflation goes up, it hurts their profits. And then Reagan's also, he's a cowboy from California. Like, he owns a ranch, he grew up on that, and that helps him appeal to the southern base also. And in doing so, he gets Texas, and then it turns Texas into Republican territory from here on out. And that's unusual because Texas is very Democratic up to this point. And then he flips all the other southern states with the exception of Georgia to Republican territory. Again, something that's not generally done by a Republican. Nixon was the first one to do it. And then Carter won all the southern states back, and then Reagan flips them all again. So, and the really unusual part of this is he wins almost all the northeast states, like New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Massachusetts especially. Republicans never win that, and he wins it in both of his elections. It's just barely by like 0.5%, but he does win it, like 0.15%, but he does get it, and that's unusual for Republicans. And then New York is also very unusual. Like I said in my other video, it's a swing state from about 72 to 92, and then Reagan wins it in both of his elections. He wins all the Great Lakes region, again, something that's not normally done by a Republican, with the exception of Minnesota, but that's only because it's Walter Mondale's state. And then the main reason for that is obviously going to be, like I said earlier, the Anderson-Carter split in the Democratic vote, and then it helps Reagan to win a lot more states that he normally wouldn't have won. Had Anderson not been in the race, Reagan definitely would have still won the election, but it would have been a lot closer. More than likely, it wouldn't have been the blowout like it was. Like, Reagan wins 489 votes. That's the most electoral votes ever won by a non-incumbent president. It passed the record set by FDR back in 1932. And then Carter wins the fewest electoral votes by an incumbent since Howard Taft back in like 1912 actually. And back when Howard Taft ran, there wasn't even 50 states. Like Florida, Alaska, and Hawaii weren't admitted into the Union yet, and I think like some territories over here weren't even in the Union yet. And but like I said, Herbert Hoover, who's a very hated incumbent back in 1932, wins more electoral votes than what Carter does. So it kind of shows you how likable Reagan was, because even though Carter was hated, it's Reagan's likability and communication skills that definitely got him this election, because he's an actor and he's very likable. And another interesting point is in California, celebrities, as you know, they're very liberal, that's throughout history since JFK. Really, they're all going to be liberal, but they're all going to be on Reagan's side in this election because he's an actor and he's like one of them. Basically, they're all going to be on Reagan's side, and Reagan gets a lot of endorsements from celebrities. Like back before John Wayne passed away, when Reagan was in his governor election, he got the endorsement from John Wayne. And I think he gets an endorsement from Clint Eastwood. A lot of big celebrities that, again, don't generally endorse Republicans are endorsing Reagan, and that helps him in California. And then you also have the fact that he's from California, which makes it that much more significant. And then, so Carter's also the first elected incumbent to lose elections since Herbert Hoover in 1928. Gerald Ford did lose to Carter, but he wasn't an elected incumbent. He was just a vice presidential incumbent that became president because of Nixon's resignation. It's kind of interesting. And then this election also sets the tone for the next three elections, because the Republicans just win in blowouts in the next three because Democrats just aren't able to keep up because they're struggling in their party between liberals and Southern Democrats. And it really takes Bill Clinton to fix that and reunite the party. And this is also one of the rare occasions where the country's definitely united, because Southern states are voting for the same guy as what Northern states are. That doesn't normally occur. All the Central states and the Pacific states are going to vote for the same dudes as the Southern states. Again, not a normal occurrence, at least not in modern times. And the country is united, and that's very, very rare. Like, you don't see it much anymore. But I guess that is about it. So this gets Reagan elected, and then basically screws the Democrats for the next 12 years because they're not able to catch up, and then it takes Clinton to catch them up. So that's about it, I guess.